Now, if there's one thing I really have to point out about Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, is that it really lacks the original thrill and the mysticism of the original trilogy movies that really kind of had a well-established style that doesn't really present itself in this film, and that's the one major thing that lacks in Indy 5. There's also a lot of logic that lacks out of this movie that really makes absolutely no sense. We'll be talking more and more about that later. However, going into what Phoebe Waller-Bridge had to say about Indy 5 really kind of lends itself to the apology train once more. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And well, let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know that people out there like Phoebe and Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy have been on this constant apology train that is getting rather repetitive and tiring, to be honest, but when we look at Phoebe Waller-Bridge, this is somebody that is very much like Kathy and Bob. Any kind of apology that comes out of their mouth, it's not genuine, it's not true, it's more or less a strategy or a manipulative behavior to get people into the theaters, or to come off as more sympathetic or personable, to kind of make themselves more of, having a better image to the audience. But let's get right into exactly what Phoebe Waller-Bridge had to present to the fans involving Indy 5 after the backlash is growing and growing. Now, granted that there is a mixed audience, we can't hide the fact here. There are people out there that enjoyed this movie, let's be real, but there's also a lot of fans that really hate this movie. Everybody in my social circle and their social circles have admitted that they do not like this film. And out of everybody that I know and that they know, I've had maybe at max 2 people that said that this movie, at best, was better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and that was about it. However, alright, with Phoebe Waller-Bridge endlessly upselling Indy 5 as much as she can to boost the box office results, recently Phoebe went on another apology train for Indy 5 to the fandom, where she delivered the following to the fans. We have noticed a sense of disappointment with this movie. At this point, I would be lying if I and others connected to this film have not noticed this. And all I can really say about that is we are sorry and apologize if we did not hit certain expectations for this film. We are fully aware that die-hard fans wanted and waited to see certain characters to show up, but it was Kennedy's vision to not cater to fan service. I think that's the issue with multiverse movies, is that cameos begin to lose their touch, so we knew at last minute we needed to keep things with one simple cameo to create that speciality in this film. This was all we needed, but we have also noticed fans having some sort of issue with the pacing of this film, and for those that felt this film was boring and drawn out, we do apologize to that small minority. Alright, so hold on a second, guys. Now, you notice how it's like this really bad apology where it's like, oh yeah, we're sorry if you felt this way or that way about this film, but it's for the certain minority that have an issue with this movie and not a majority. Now, there's a lot of people out there that feel easily 30 minutes could have been shaved off this movie without question. I know a lot of you who saw the movie probably feel the same, and there's also a lot of people out there that feel that the first 15 minutes were the best moments of this movie because of the de-aging tech or the deep fake, whatever you want to call it. And even that, by the way, was not 100% perfect. Even Harrison Ford's lips did not meet up with the dialogue. It didn't sync up at times. But moving to the next thing, we know that Phoebe Waller-Bridge contributed to this story as much as she did with Bond 25. That was something that Barbara Broccoli, by the way, allowed for Phoebe Waller-Bridge to embrace, and she was the one, as we described in the last video, that allowed basically the female agent to carry on that 007 moniker. But on to the next thing, alright? We know that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is trying to save this film, because if you guys checked out this movie and really took the bravery of doing so, you will notice that everybody in this film just seems like they don't want to be there, and that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is having the time of her life on screen. That's how I felt. And by the way, I did get to see this for free through a connection from one of the projectionists that work at a movie theater, so I did not give Disney a cent to this movie, just to be clear. So, anyways, however, she goes on to state, we don't believe we made a film that was too long or dragged out. It was perfectly paced out by James Mangold and the editors who did a phenomenal job. We tend to try and ignore the fans who are loud and opinionated that want this film to never succeed, but to the fans that genuinely tried to love this film and were disappointed by the pacing, dialogue, lack of cameos, and certain story decisions by myself and James. We really lend our apologies to all of those who took their great time going out to the theater and trying to enjoy this film. We still have a great chance of meeting our 1 billion worldwide box office milestone. By the way, guys, it sounds like she is losing confidence in that. Continuing on. And that still has a 90% chance of happening. We are all just bloody excited about it. Myself, Kathy, and others really feel we are going to hit that mark by the end of this month, maybe by early August at the latest, and no film is going to compete with that. It's a film that stands on its own. Guys, did you catch that little thing there? Is she throwing shade at Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible 7, Dead Reckoning Part 2, or should I say Part 1? Is she throwing shade at Tom Cruise that no movie out there is going to compete against Indy 5? I feel like she just did. But that's coming out on July 12th. We got a little tiny bit of a ways to go. And yeah, I mean, technically it comes out on the 11th for the preview night. But yeah, I mean, I think Disney is growing very frightened and scared about Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible film coming into the equation and really just overshining Indiana Jones 5. Because look, Tom Cruise is a man of passion. He has all his wacky beliefs, I understand that. Let's be very real about that. But he doesn't make it public anymore. He doesn't shove it down your throat. He doesn't really try to convert you or anything like that. He just keeps to himself. His personal life is out of the equation here. He just loves cinema. He purely loves cinema. It's not for the sake of, look at me, look what I'm doing. He just loves providing these experiences to the fans. And you know what? I like Tom Cruise's format. Each movie is like this big world record stunt that he pulls off. And he's going to space, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew this, but he is making a space movie. Go ahead and look it up. He is going to do a stunt in space. Most likely, a lot of fans have been thinking maybe he's going to do some kind of space dive or something like that. But overall, what Phoebe Waller-Bridge is saying here is basically, yeah, for the minority that have been very loud and opinionated and want this movie to fail, we're not apologetic toward you, but we are apologetic to the people that saw this movie and were disappointed and purchased a ticket. So yeah, we're sorry if you spent money on this, but we're also not sorry because you gave us money. That's basically what it's translating to. Unfortunately, it's the truth. But guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.